Anu, welcome back. We have had a series of very interesting conversations. We've talked about issues that are important to you. You've shared some good stories with us about your life and some keen insights. Today, I want to kind of go back to your true passion. Vows for Eternity is now a decade old, and you have been in the heart of it since the beginning. I would like to get your take on how matchmaking has evolved over the years. How has it changed and how has it stayed the same?
Well, thank you, Sonia, for taking out the time to talk to me today. You know, it's very interesting, this question. Somebody sent me a little snippet the other day from the newspaper, and it said, looking for a tall, slim, fair, well-educated, homely girl, right? And to me, that is, that's quite reflective of where matchmaking is. And so it's not where it needs to be. It doesn't give you a slice of relationships, right? A lot has changed in relationships over the years, and very rightly so. I think it's about time it did. We need to really think about, do we want to match two biodatas when we're looking at bringing two people together, and or do we want to really start focusing on two people, two individuals, and what they bring to the table? And this is a lifelong journey, so I think we need to take a hard look at what are the connectors, right? Relationships today are very different. You have a man and a woman who are really looking for, they're both well educated, they're both driven, they have a career path, they're globally well traveled, they've traveled around the world, be it for education or for the right opportunities, and they both have strong voices, and they really are looking for somebody who comes into their life to be a strong team, as a second person making a very strong team. But it also needs to be somebody who will encourage each other to get to their full potential, who will understand where the person is coming from, where two people create a space where they can be themselves, where they get the balance between interdependence and independence. So a lot has changed. Stereotypical gender roles are really, those lines are getting very blurred. Women are getting more into career as a full time, whether it's because of financial reasons, or because it gives them non-financial, because it gives them that sense of independence, that sense of accomplishment. Whatever the reason is, things are changing, and matchmaking needs to reflect that. We need to have also the other thing that comes into play is people are getting married, choosing to get married a little bit later than used to be in the past. Right? My mother got married when she was 20 years old. By 21, I was born, right? So there are a lot of, and people then grew together, and there was a different dynamics. Today it's very different. So that needs to get reflected. The other thing that is really important is today, professional matchmakers and the role that they play, or they should play, is a very important role. Kids are moving away from homes. Parents are, bringing kids into and giving them this whole exposure of a new world, be it, for education or whatever. And then, but they are still stuck in their own lives, right? The way parents have known it. And then this generation gap starts coming in. Also, they are, for example, they might be in a city in India. Kids have moved out. They might be in London, New York, Paris, wherever. And the parents don't have a social circle in those cities. So they're almost like two different worlds. And while the parents love and can understand, the paths that the kids have chosen, they don't know how to help them once they start wanting to find the right person. And because career is becoming more and more important, people are not getting married to people they've known in school and college anymore, because the focus at that age is very different. And once they're ready to get married, they're at work, and where do you find the right person? So a lot of things are changing, and that's why I think matchmaking has to take a more holistic look at what is really important, what should be the foundation of getting two people together.
Anu, what is your specific approach to matchmaking?
Sure, my personal approach to matchmaking, I think, I don't have a one, I don't believe there's a one cookie cutter solution. I don't think it's a one size fits all, because each person is very different. Their environment is very different. Their growing up years are very different. The experiences are very different, and how that shapes them is very different. Sometimes you have two people from the similar environment, but they are shaped very differently because they take to things very differently. They react very differently. So my approach really is, I always think that it's, the person has to be in the driver's seat. It's not my role to tell anybody what is right or what is wrong, because I don't think there's anything as right or wrong. It's very individual. My role is to listen. It's very important for me to hear what you have to say. What has your life been like? What has your journey been like? How has that defined you? How has that shaped you? And equally important, if not more important, is, where do you want to go in life? What do you want from your life? What are your career aspirations? What are your life goals? What are you looking at? What is important to you? What connects you to somebody? What draws you to somebody? What warms your heart? So all the answers, you actually have those answers. My job is to talk about those with you. Sometimes it's about making the other person introspect and see what is really important to them. um, I think that there are certain things we need in life, and there are certain things we want. The focus has to be on what is a deal breaker for us when it comes to a life partner. What are we not okay with? And then there'll be a whole list of things that we would like to have, but they're not deal breakers. Don't confuse the two. Don't lose focus. So that's, I think, my role is more of a coach, of a mentor, of a confidant with some people, who open up a lot more than others. And in terms of guidance, right, there are certain things that I'll bring to the table. I also, things like, I don't think people should rush into something very, very quickly. I think it should be, try and get to know somebody, well. Not every marriage is going to be a love marriage. But that's a little bit overhyped in any case, I think, in a lot of ways. Marriage is a leap of faith. However you slice or dice it, right? There is sometimes there are red flags that come up in the beginning, and we need to really think about it, because if there are some red flags, then we shouldn't brush them under the carpet, because they will come up a little later. And sometimes the red flags really come up only once you're starting to get to know somebody a little bit more, or as the process unfolds. So watch out for those, right? But get to a space where you're comfortable with somebody. Get to a space where you can be yourself. If you're having a great day and you can be, you're having a good time with somebody, it doesn't take much. But when you are having a bad day and you can be yourself, focus on that. Who can you be with when you're having a really bad day, and who gets you then? That's really important. Get into that space, and once you share that space with somebody, only then think about marriage. Otherwise, it's not the right time, or perhaps not the right person.
It is clear that you put so much heart and so much soul and so much time and emotion into matchmaking and finding the perfect partner for your members. I'm sure it can be quite taxing. How do you find time to recharge your batteries and unwind? And what do you do to just enjoy yourself?
Lots of things. I love the outdoors, so that makes me really happy, just being amidst nature. I love going for long walks in the mountains. I love walking on secluded beaches. I don't like crowded beaches at all. I find being outdoor very, very therapeutic. I love board games. I love playing chess. I like golf. I love speed, so I like fast cars. I'm very fond of fast cars. I love fast boats. Again, very therapeutic. I love the adrenaline sort of rush that you get with that. I like intimate gatherings with people I'm very close to, family, friends, at home. Good wine, music, good food, good conversation, very relaxing. I love that time. I love going, music. I'm into classical Spanish instrumental music these days, so that's all I'm listening to all the time. I've discovered the love of tequila, you know, all over again. In college, all I knew sort of tequila was just a tequila, and now there's so many varieties of tequila, and they are so, it's like wine. It's probably more varieties than wine, which is something I'm discovering, and I'm learning. I'm learning a lot about tequila. And most importantly, I love spending time with my kids as they're growing up. I find their world very fascinating. It's this world of innocence where everything is new, and it just sucks me in. And I love being a part of that, and I'm very thankful they make me a part of their world. It's beautiful.
Anu, as always, it's been so informative talking to you and hearing what you bring to the table and how much you give to VFE and you give of yourself to your members to make sure that you are really finding the perfect person for them.
Thank you, Sonia. Thanks for your time.
So thank you for sharing your time, your insight. Everyone, thank you for watching. Until next time.